guys. So today we are going to start the POTD, means problem of the day, for this today, that is today's. I am recording at 1:26, means the day has passed, but since the POTD remains till 4 o'clock in according to Indian time standards, that's why we are able to get this POTD of 9 July. But today is 10 July because I have crossed the 12 a.m. of the night. Okay. So let us see what the question says. So the question says that reschedule meetings for maximum free time. Okay. So you have to reschedule meetings so that you get maximum free time. Now comes to the question, what it says exactly. So it says that you are given an integer event time denoting the duration of an event where the event occurs from time t equals to 0 to t equals to event time. So you are given an integer event time, and there is an event, and the event occurs from 0 to event time. Okay. You are also given two integer arrays, start time and end time, of each of length n. The represent the start and end time of non-overlapping meetings where I meeting occurs during the start time. Means you are given two integer arrays, like see here, start time and end time. And now what you have? You have that from 1 to 2 there will be a meeting, from 3 to 5 there will be a meeting. Means there is a meeting from start time I to end time I. Okay. You can reschedule at most k meetings by moving their start time while maintaining the same duration to maximize the longest continuous period of free time. Actually, what now you can do? You can take k of the meetings and move them. Move them means what? For example, this is the time duration of one meeting. This is the time duration of another meeting. Now, if you choose this meeting, you can reschedule it. Means you can either shift it via this side. You would be seeing this, whatever I am doing. You can shift this meeting to here also. You can shift this meeting to here also. If you shift this meeting to here, you are seeing that from 2 to 3 there was gap. Now 1 to 2 also becomes a gap, so there is a gap of 2 units. If you shift this side, then this gap of 2 units becomes to the left side. So that's how you have to move this type of, see how I am moving this type. You have to move these meetings to left or right so that you get maximum gaps. Now you are able to shift only k meetings, and you have to find the maximum amount of free time possible after rearranging the meetings. Note that the meetings cannot be rescheduled at to a time outside the event. Okay, means we can reschedule the meetings only time 0 to event time. Only this interval is allowed for us to reschedule the meetings. Now I think you would have understood the question, what the question want to say, and you would be, I think, lagging and how to get the solution. That's why you have come here. So I am here to give you the solution and the approach. So first of all, try to think. Try to think actually what type of question exactly is this. So exactly this is a type of question where you have to shift the intervals. Now see, you have to create maximum free time. For example, in here, in this first example, what is maximum free time we are having? From 0 to 1 we are free, from 2 to 3 we are free. Now we have to maximize this time. How can you maximize this time in an interval? If you see carefully, you can see that if I shift this meet to the left or I shift this to the right, then this becomes hollow, this part of the meeting, and it also creates a free time. So exactly what our approach should be? Our approach should be to move them such that they gives maximum amount of possible free time. Now this is the normal approach. You would also have understood. Now you would be saying what I am saying, because there is not much relevance of this approach to the solution. The main relevance of the approach is that, see, from 0 to 6, 0 to 5, okay, how much time is free? 0 to 1 and 2 to 3. Now in whatever possible way, you can always see this word. From 0 to 5 you are having what time? 0 to 1 free time and 2 to 3 means if you take the sum, then total 2 units of time we are having free. You can always get this as free time. The summation of this free times intervals you can get as this free time always if the number of intervals you are swapping is you are rescheduling is less than or equal to k. I think that many of you would have understood and many of you would not have understood. So let us give you another example. What I am saying is that see this example. Now you are in, at this stage 10. Okay, 0 to 10. What is total free time? 1 to 2 means 1 unit and 4 to 9 5 units. 5 plus 1 6 units. If and how much gaps is there? Gap is of two gaps are there na. See 1 to 2 one gap and 4 to 9 one gap. And you see one thing also. When you shift one interval, for example this 2 to 4 there is a meeting and you shift this, then these both gaps come together to form a larger gap. And you see one thing also, there were two gaps and you only move this single interval 2 to 4 and you got all these two merged. This means that if we move k meetings, if we reschedule k meetings, then k plus 1 gaps could come together. I am writing this on this editor, and this is the target approach that gives the solution to this question. K meetings, if we reschedule, then k plus 1 gaps came together. Now what our approach will be? Our approach will be to always reschedule k continuous meetings. Now you will be saying how to get this approach. You see, if you are having 4 meetings, suppose 1, 2 there is a meeting, then 7, 8 there is a meeting, then 11, 12 there is a meeting, and 100, 200 there is a meeting, and you can shift only one meeting. Sorry, suppose you can shift 2 meetings. Now if you shift this meeting to here and you shift this meeting to here, will this has any better result? No, because if you shift all to the left or all to the right, then you are getting more and more gap. That's why you always have to choose k consecutive intervals of meetings. Now I think you would have got the approach what I want to say. So let us first, I will also cover whatever is remaining in the approach by code. So first of all, you have what you have to do. You have to make an array of gaps. So first of all, let us take int n equals to as a start time dot size. Okay. Now you have to take a vector of gaps. I'm sorry, I'm getting cough. I don't know why. In this cold environment of Rajasthan, and in the night, in the time of nearly July, but I don't know why it's so cold here. Actually, in Rajasthan, the nights are cold and the days are very hot. I don't know why. So vector in gaps, and gap size could be anything. We are not giving it now. Now we are traversing okay. Now you see one thing also. For example, here in this example 2, the first meeting is from 1 to 2. So 0 to 1 is also a gap. 2 to 3 is also a gap. So what we can do? We can take the next meeting and then we can subtract the starting time of the next meeting by the ending time of the present meeting and get the gap between them. For example, 3 minus 2 here 1 gives. And since we also have to see this thing also, and for example, suppose last meeting is at 10, okay, and your event time is 11, so there will also be a 1 gap for this. So we would also have to handle these cases so that we are able to get initial and later gaps. That's why I am inserting a actually okay. Now what we are doing actually, okay, so I am making a vector pair. Now what I will be doing in this pair, actually I know today you will be having a less explanation because today I am not in good situation in my health because I don't know why my throat is not working properly. That's why I'm having a lot of problem to record this video. But since I want to maintain the consistency, that's why I'm doing all this. So if start time 0 not equals to 0, then back dot push back 0 comma 0. Now I think you would have understood why I have done this. The reason was simple because if 0 is not present as a interval time, for example like this, then we have to push 0 comma 0 so that we can furtherly get all the gaps properly. And in the ending also you can have one more thing, like if start time, sorry, here should be, it should be ending time, because end time dot size minus 1 not equals to event time. Then what you have to do, actually we have to just push back event time comma event time. Okay, actually, so now this is also done. Now what we have to do, actually see back dot push back start time comma end time. Okay, now we have done all this. Now what we need to do, now we are having the all the meetings time. Now we have to find the gap, so that's why we will iterate this vector, that will be a back dot size minus 1 I plus plus. Now how we will get the gap? First of all, if I plus 1 is smaller than back dot size, means we are having the next meeting also, then int gap equals to back I plus 1 means next starting time of the next meeting minus ending time of the present meeting. Okay, and this gap, if this gap is greater equals to 0, by the way it will also be always be greater equal to 0, then also for security purpose I am, because it is given in the question that all the intervals are non-overlapping. Non-overlapping means there will not be case like where gap will be smaller than 0, but then also we take it for security purpose, and then in the gaps we push this gap. Okay, now we are having the vector gaps which is having all the gaps. Now what we have to do, okay, so this and this. Okay, now we have to make a variable for answer, storing the answer actually, and a temp variable for storing how much we are getting at this present stage. Now we are having all the gaps, and what we have a k, which means that we can shift, we can get k gaps merged, k plus 1 gaps merged actually. For example, if there are k, I said to you that when we are when we are able to reschedule one meeting, then we are able to cover two gaps, means we can two gaps we can take, make them together. So if there are, we can reschedule k meetings, this means that k plus 1 gaps can be merged together. And so what we will do, we will be continuously seeing how many consecutive k plus 1 gaps are there, and what will be the total free time if they all are merged together, and we will iterate and find that what is the maximum of them, all of them. I think you would have understood if you have heard my conversation by focus. Actually again I am getting this. So if I is greater equals to k, this means that now we are having k gaps. Okay, first of all, I smaller than k. Okay, means we are not having enough gaps. Actually one more thing is there. First of all, can you see one thing, that if we are having what is the value of constraints? K value can be till n, so means there we are having all the k, we can simultaneously merge all the intervals. That means all the free time we are getting, we can actually merge it to get the answer. But that will also be a right answer, but our approach will also be covering that case also when k will be equal to the n. So if k is smaller than I smaller than k, then what we have to do, we have to just add the gap size. Else now we are having, so what we will be doing here, we will be storing max at each stage. Okay, now if k have passed means now we are having k elements, so what we should do, first of all we have to remove the present gap, and sorry, we have to take the present gap because present gap is needed to take, and we have to remove the previous one because we have to maintain a sub array of k type. So the I previous means I minus k plus 1th element which we have taken earlier, that we will have to remove. And uns equals to max uns comma temp, that is actually what I want to say. And here even after the ending also there could be case, so uns equals to max actually uns comma temp. Now let us run and see what's going on. Actually I think there would be some of the problem that as always happens, because a lot of time you write code and you think that is perfect, but a lot of time a lot of error comes which tells you that you should do some more thing. Actually I used gap here, it should be gaps instead of gap because vector was declared as gaps not gap. Gap was an interval, a variable which we used to check if the, okay, so all the test cases are passing, so we submit it and check if there is any case which leads to rejection of the solution or it passes all the test cases. So you see it has passed, it has reached 17.28%, and whatever you, this is not important. I think an optimal approach is important and the way of thinking is important. So I think you would have got it. If you are not get it, then you can comment it. I will give another exception and explanation. And see, you can also go to solutions always if you know do not get what do you have to do actually. So you can see a lot of person giving different type of solutions in different languages. If you are not from C++ background, then you can check these ones. You can go to ChatGPT, but not directly to ChatGPT. First, for example, you can also see this official editorial. And whenever you do not, what should be your approach to the question? So whenever you get a question, first of all, try to understand the question. Try to understand the question and constants. Then if you are able not able to configure or not able to see what you have to do, then you see these topics. Now you see array greedy sliding window. Now you come to know that this is not a problem of dynamic programming, it is a common greedy solution. So what your normal approach is, that will work finely here. Sliding window, then you can also get that this is something type array normal question, like it's not some high question which is means being solved by the dynamic programming or anything else. It's just a simple question. Then if you are then also you are unable to solve the question, then you can see the hints. Use the hint. In a sequence of k meetings and k plus 1 gaps, you could move all meetings to the start of the sequence to get the maximum free time. That's exactly what I said. I gave you example also, if one interval is moved, then two gaps were covered. So k meetings we are rescheduling, then k plus 1 gaps can be merged, and they should be continuous in order to give you a maximum free time. So use a sliding window of k plus 1 size to store the sum. And what we are doing, we are also doing the same. We are taking this temp variable as, and in temp variable we are continuously taking the three gaps of k plus 1. See, if k is greater than 1, okay, so sorry, I is greater than k, then what we are doing, we are removing the previous ones which was taken, and taking the present one and removing the k means I minus k plus 1 means the one which needs to be removed in order to maintain the size of the stamp to hold only k plus 1 elements. And I think you would have got it. Okay, bye bye.